In just a few hours, the Supreme Court will hear arguments challenging the federal TikTok ban. Right now, that ban is set to go into effect January 19th, unless TikTok's parent company, China-based ByteDance, sells the app. In the filing, TikTok railed against the ban, saying in part, quote, "The act will shutter one of America's most popular speech platforms the day before a presidential inauguration." For more on this, let's bring in CBS News Supreme Court and legal producer Catherine Cole. Catherine, I appreciate you waking up with us this morning. TikTok appears to be laying out a First Amendment case in their defense for the Supreme Court. How strong of a stance is that for them, and what does the Supreme Court have to weigh as it makes its decision?
Yeah, good morning, Errol. TikTok is facing an uphill climb here, in all truth. They're going to argue that TikTok is a medium for speech. It's a way in which Americans communicate with each other and hear from each other, and that the government is banning that speech, in essence. But the Supreme Court is probably going to need to hear more than that, because on the other side, the government will argue that the national security concerns of a Chinese-owned company having access to that much data and possibly editorial control over our speech is a real problem. I will say, what the justices need to hear, the First Amendment is not necessarily a clean, conservative, liberal issue. It's possible we might get an interesting configuration of justices on this one, but I would think that TikTok's going to have a tough time coming out on top here.
And what then might the timeline look like? You've got so many people on the app, content creators, small businesses, effectively freaking out. But what happens if the High Court is still weighing these arguments when the ban is set to go into effect?
Well, that's right. The ban goes into effect next Sunday, January 19th. And so I would expect the Supreme Court to weigh in very soon. They really expedited this case. The poor lawyers had to get their briefing in over Christmas and New Year's. I mean, they put this on a fast track. So I think they're going to try and get something quickly. If they don't, though, the fact that the court has heard argument has no bearing on the law. The law will go into effect unless a decision comes out saying it shouldn't.
Wow, this is significant. Catherine Cole, thanks for helping us understand it all.
Thank you.